I'll write an interesting 800-word story for part 1. The arrival in third-person style using simple and basic English. Here it is. The skies above Seoul turned dark on a sunny Tuesday morning. Not from rain clouds, but from something much worse. A massive ship, round and grey like a metal moon, blocked the sun. People stopped walking. Cars stopped moving. Everyone looked up. Jun, a soldier in South Korea's army, stood with his team at the edge of the city. They held their guns tight, hands shaking. The metal moon sent down a smaller ship. It landed in an empty field, making the ground shake. The door of the small ship opened slowly. Out stepped a tall figure in black armor. The armor shined like wet oil. The figure stood 3 heads taller than the tallest human. Its helmet had no face, only a smooth black surface that reflected the world around it. "I am Commander Tae of the Star Empire," the figure spoke. Its voice sounded like rocks falling down a mountain. "I come to test your world's strength." General Kim stepped forward from the line of soldiers. He was old but brave. "We welcome peaceful visitors," the general said, "but we will defend our home if needed." Commander Tae laughed. The sound made birds fly away in fear. "Defend with these toys," he pointed at their guns. "I have conquered 50 worlds. My armor has never been broken." To show his power, Commander Tae walked toward them. General Kim gave the order. Hundreds of bullets hit the aliens' armor. They bounced off like raindrops on a window. The soldiers' faces turned white with fear. "Bring your strongest weapons," Commander Tae said. "I want to see everything before my people come." Within 1 hour, tanks rolled into the field. They fired their big guns. The ground shook. Smoke filled the air. When it cleared, Commander Tae still stood there, not even pushed back. "Is this all?" he asked. Next came jets flying low. They dropped bombs that made huge holes in the earth. Commander Tae walked through the fire and smoke, his armor still perfect. By sunset, South Korea had used many of its best weapons. Nothing worked. Against the aliens' armor, Commander Tae sat on a broken tank looking bored. "How your world is weak," he said to General Kim. "You have nothing that can hurt me." He touched the side of his helmet. "This is Commander Tae reporting. Earth is easy to take. Their weapons are simple. Their defenses are soft. Send the first wave." In 3 days, news of the alien spread across the world. Leaders from many countries met to make plans. They sent their strongest weapons to Korea. Big missiles that could destroy cities. Special guns that shot blue energy instead of bullets. Nothing worked against Commander Tae's armor. "I will explore your world before my people arrive," Commander Tae told them. "I want to see what we will soon own." He walked away from the field, heading toward the city. Soldiers followed him from a safe distance. People ran when they saw him coming. Streets became empty, doors locked, windows closed. Commander Tae looked at the tall buildings, the stores, the parks. He picked up a car with one hand and crushed, hit like paper. He broke through walls just by walking into them. Nothing on Earth seemed strong to him. "Such a weak planet," he said to himself. "They build small. They think small." As night fell, Commander Tae found a quiet place by the Han River. He sat on the ground watching the city lights across the water. His ship sent down a small robot that floated next to him. "Record my report," he said to the robot. "Earth has many people but little power. Their weapons cannot touch our armor. Their buildings fall easily. They are not ready for war with us. The planet has good water, clean air, and many resources. He will make a fine addition to our empire." The robot beeped and returned to the ship with his message. Commander Tae stood up and looked at the stars. Somewhere up there, his fleet was waiting. Thousands of soldiers like him, ready to come down and take Earth. What Commander Tae didn't know was that a small girl named Mina had followed him to the river. She hid behind trees, watching the strange visitor from space. She wasn't afraid like the adults. She was curious. And unlike the soldiers with their guns and tanks, Mina had something special, a smart mind that looked at problems differently. As Commander Tae walked back toward his ship, Mina slipped away into the night. Tomorrow she would follow him again, and soon she would discover something about his perfect armor that all the world's armies had missed. I'll write an interesting 800-word story for part 2. The assessment in third-person style using simple and basic English without headings. The morning after Commander Tae's arrival, people stayed in their homes. The streets of Seoul were quiet. Only the sound of the alien's heavy steps broke the silence as he walked through the empty city. Commander Tae touched buildings as he passed. His scanner in his helmet showed him what they were made of. "Weak materials," he muttered. "These would not stand one day on my world." He picked up a car and squeezed it. The metal bent easily in his hands. He dropped it and kept walking. Nothing on this planet seemed strong to him. In a small neighborhood away from the tall buildings, Commander Tae found signs of normal life. Clothes hung on lines between houses. Bikes leaned against walls. Food cooking smells came from windows. He was looking for how humans lived when they weren't fighting. An old man watering plants saw the alien and dropped his watering can. He tried to run but fell. Commander Tae watched him crawl away in fear. "So fragile," he said to himself. "Their bodies break so easily." The alien walked to a playground. He sat on a bench that bent under his weight. His scanner took pictures of the swing sets and slides. These showed him how small and weak human children must be. Even their young need simple machines to play, he noted in his report. They cannot jump high or run fast on their own. A group of men in suits watched him from a distance. Commander Tae knew they were leaders, not soldiers. They didn't carry guns, but they carried fear in their eyes. He waved at them, and they stepped back quickly. "Your weapons did not hurt me yesterday," Commander Tae called to them. "What will you try today?" One man stepped forward. "We want to talk, not fight." Commander Tae laughed. "Talk is what the weak do when they cannot win." He turned away from them and walked toward a small school building. The men didn't follow. They knew they couldn't stop him. The school was empty of children. Tables and chairs sat in neat rows. Pictures hung on walls. Commander Tae ducked to fit through the door. He looked at the simple learning tools. Books, pencils, paper. "They learn so slowly," he said into his recorder. "One fact at a time, not like our mind-link education." As he turned to leave, something caught his eye. A small movement behind a bookshelf. Commander Tae moved quickly for someone so big. He pushed the shelf aside with one hand. Behind it sat a girl. She looked about 10 years old. She wore a blue school uniform and had 2 long braids in her hair. She didn't run or scream when she saw him. She just looked up with wide, curious eyes. "Why are you not afraid, small one?" Commander Tae asked. "I am afraid," the girl said, "but I wanted to see you up close." Commander Tae knelt down to look at her better. His scanner showed her heart beating fast, but her face stayed calm. "What is your name?" he asked. "Mina," she said. "What's yours?" I'm Commander Tae of the Star Empire, 5th rank battle leader, winner of 12 war medals." Mina nodded like this was normal information. "Why is your armor so black? Is it hot inside?" Commander Tae was surprised by the question. Most beings he conquered only asked if he would kill them. "My armor is made from star metal," he explained. "It keeps me cool or warm as needed. It has never been broken in battle." Mina stood up slowly. She was as tall as Commander Tae's knee. "Can I touch it?" she asked. Commander Tae held out his arm. Mina put her small hand on the shiny black surface. Her handprint showed for a moment, then disappeared. "It feels like wet stone," she said. Commander Tae stood back up to his full height. "You should go home, Mina. My people will come soon. This will not be a safe place for small humans." Mina picked up her backpack. "Will you be here tomorrow?" "Yes, I have more to learn about your world before we take it." "Then I'll come back too," Mina said. "I have more questions." She walked past him and out the door. Commander Tae watched her go. Such a strange little being, he thought. Not running. In fear like the others. That night, Commander Tae sent his daily report to the waiting fleet. Earth's defenses remain weak. Their structures fall easily. Their bodies are fragile. But there is something strange about them. Their young show unusual. Qualities. More study is needed before the full invasion. Request 1 more day of assessment. The answer came back quickly. 1 more day granted. Complete your assessment of any possible threats. Commander Tae looked at the night sky. He didn't tell his leaders about the small girl who wasn't afraid, about how her questions made him curious too. Some things didn't need to be in reports. Tomorrow he would learn more about these humans. Especially the small brave ones like Mina. I'll write an interesting 800-word story for Part 3, the encounter in third-person style, using simple and basic English without headings. The third day of Commander Ty's visit to Earth began with rain. Large drops fell from grey clouds, hitting his black armor with soft taps. He stood in the empty playground where he had met Mina the day before. Water ran down his helmet in streams, but he didn't move. His people didn't mind rain. On his home, planet rain could burn skin. Earth rain was just water. Commander Tay checked his scanner. The humans were watching him from far away. They had big cameras pointed at him. Some had guns too, but they kept their distance. They had learned that guns did nothing to his armor. He waited for 1 hour, 2 hours. The rain stopped. The sun came out. Still he waited. His orders were to finish his study of Earth before the invasion fleet arrived tomorrow. But his thoughts kept returning to the small human with the questions. Just when Commander Tay decided to look elsewhere, he saw her. Mina walked across the wet grass toward him. She wore a yellow coat today and carried a small bag. The watching. Humans with cameras seemed shocked. Some ran forward to stop her, but they were too far away. "You came back," Commander Tay said when she reached him. Mina nodded. "I said I would. I brought my lunch. Do you eat food?" Commander Tay watched as she sat on a wet bench and opened her bag. "My body uses energy cells, not food like yours." Mina took out a sandwich and bit into it. "That's too bad. Sharing food is how we make friends on Earth." The word made Commander Tay tilt his head. "Friends? We don't have this word in my language." "Really? What do you call people you like to spend time with?" "People who aren't your family but who you talk to and play with?" Commander Tay thought about this. "We have battle partners, work groups, mating pairs, but we don't choose to be with others unless we need something from them." Mina looked sad. "That sounds lonely." Commander Tay had never thought about loneliness before. On his world, being alone was normal. Being with others meant you had a job to do together. "Why do humans need friends?" he asked. Mina finished her sandwich and thought for a moment. "We just do. It feels good to share things, ideas, stories, games." She pulled something from her bag. "Like this game. Want to try?" It was a small board with black and white stones. Commander Tay scanned it. "This is a thinking game," he said. "We have similar ones on my world, but they are much more complex. This one is called Go. It's very old. It looks simple, but it's really hard to master," Mina explained. She set up the board between them. Commander Tay sat on the ground, making the earth shake a little. His armor bent at joints that weren't visible before. He watched as Mina showed him how to play, placing stones to capture territory. "Your kind fights real wars for territory," Mina said as they played. "Why do that when you could just play games instead?" The question surprised Commander Tay. "Games don't give you real land or resources." "No, but no one dies in games," Mina said simply. They played in silence for a while. Commander Tay let Mina win the first game, but she noticed. "Don't let me win," she said. "That's not being a real friend." The second game, Commander Tay tried harder. He found that the simple game had deep strategy. Mina was good at it, she thought, in ways he didn't expect. When she won again, fairly this time, Commander Tay felt a new feeling. Not anger at losing, but respect. "You think differently than any being I've met," he told her. Mina smiled. "That's why friends are good. They show you new ways to think." A sound made them both look up. More people had gathered at the edge of the playground. They looked scared and confused to see the alien playing a board game with a child. "They don't understand why you're not hurting me," Mina said. "Hurting you would be—" Commander Tay searched for the right word. "Pointless. You are no threat." Mina packed up the game. "Want to see where I go to school? It's more interesting than this empty playground." Commander Tay stood up. "Lead the way, small human." As they walked together, the giant alien in black, armor and the little girl in a yellow coat, people moved back in fear. But Mina didn't seem scared at all. She talked about her classes, her teachers, the things she was learning. Commander Tay listened and thought. His mission was to assess Earth's weaknesses before the invasion, but this child had made him see something his weapons couldn't detect. Humans connected with each other in ways his people didn't. They shared without needing to. They helped each Other without orders. Was this a weakness as he had first thought? Or was it something else, something his people had never valued? As they reached the school building, Commander Tay's thoughts were troubled. For the first time in his life, he questioned whether conquering was the right path. I'll write an interesting 100-word story for Part 4. The discovery in third-person style using simple and basic. English without headings. Mina led Commander Tay through the empty school building. Their footsteps echoed in the quiet halls. The alien had to duck under doorways and squeeze through spaces made for humans, not 8-foot-tall beings in armor. This is where we learn, Mina explained. Every day except weekends. Commander Tay looked at the colorful pictures on walls, the small desks in rows, the books on shelves. His scanner took images of everything. You learn so slowly, he said. On my world, we connect our minds to knowledge banks. We learn a full subject in one day. Mina shrugged. That sounds boring. I like figuring things out myself. They reached a room at the end of the hall. A sign on the door said Science Lab. Inside were tables with sinks, glass bottles of colored liquids and strange machines. This is my favorite room, Mina said. We do experiments here. Commander Tay touched a microscope with his large gloved hand. Primitive tools, he said. But interesting. Mina went to a shelf and took down a box. This is my project, want to see? Commander Tay nodded. He watched as Mina set up small bottles and tools on a table. His scanner showed simple earth chemicals, nothing dangerous or special. What does your project do, he asked. It shows how different things mix together to make something new, Mina explained. She carefully poured a clear liquid from one bottle into another with blue liquid. The color changed to green. See? Change. Mina smiled. Now I'll add the special part. She opened a small jar that held white powder. Using a spoon, she added some to the green liquid. It began to bubble and foam. Stand back, she warned. Sometimes it gets excited. Commander Tay wasn't worried. His armor had protected him from acid seas and lava storms on other worlds. A child's science project couldn't hurt him. The mixture bubbled higher, almost reaching the top of the bottle. Mina clapped her hands, happy it was working. Then she reached for another jar. This makes it change again, she said. But as she reached across the table, her sleeve caught the bubbling bottle. It tipped over. The green liquid splashed across the table and onto Commander Tay's armor. Sorry, Mina cried. She grabbed a cloth and tried to wipe the armor clean. Commander. Tay stood still. Do not worry, small human. My armor has survived plasma storms and laser cannons. Your mix cannot harm it. But as he spoke, he felt something strange, a warm feeling where the liquid had touched his arm. He looked down. The shiny black surface of his armor had changed where the green liquid touched it. It wasn't black anymore, but dull gray. And as they both watched, tiny cracks began to appear. What is happening? Commander Tay's voice had a new sound in it, surprise, maybe even fear. Mina looked worried. It's just simple stuff, baking soda, vinegar, salt, And what? Commander Tay demanded. And lemon juice with sugar, Mina said, plus the cleaner the janitor uses on the floors. Commander Tay touched the gray spot with his other hand. A piece of his armor came off in his fingers. It crumbled like dry dirt. This is not possible, he whispered. My armor has never been damaged. Not by weapons, not by storms, not by anything in the galaxy. He stepped back, looking at Mina with new eyes. His scanner ran over the simple chemicals on the table. None were special. None were weapons. Just common things found in any Earth home. How did you know to mix these? He asked. Mina shook her head. I didn't. I was just playing, trying different things to see what would happen. Commander Tay looked at his arm again. The gray spot was growing slowly. The damage was spreading. My people tested your world's strongest weapons, he said quietly. They did nothing to our armor, but this simple mix of common things. He sat down heavily on the floor, making the room shake. Mina sat across from him, legs crossed. Are you okay? She asked. I really am sorry. Commander Tay was quiet. For a long time. When he spoke, his voice was different, softer. On my world, we follow paths that are set. We do what worked before. We never play. We never just try things to see what happens. He looked at the small girl who had done what armies could not. "Your kind is dangerous," he said. "Not because you are strong or have good weapons, but because you think in ways we don't understand. You mix things that should not go together. You find answers by accident." Mina didn't know what to say to this. She just watched as Commander Tay stood up carefully, as if his armor might break. "More if he moved too fast. I must return to my ship," he said. "I have a new report to make." As he walked toward the door, Mina called after him. "Will you come back tomorrow to play Go again?" Commander Tay turned. "There will be no tomorrow for games, Mina. My fleet comes in the morning. Unless—" He looked at his damaged armor, then at the simple chemicals that had hurt it. "Unless I tell them something they don't expect to hear." In the quiet aftermath of the dramatic events, Sarah found herself at a crossroads. The past weeks had been a whirlwind of emotions, challenges, and unexpected turns. Her decision to reconsider everything. She knew about her life hung in the balance. The small apartment felt different now. Shadows seemed to dance on the walls, whispering secrets of past choices and potential futures. She sat by the window, her fingers tracing the rim of a coffee mug that had long gone cold. The city outside moved on, unaware of her internal struggle. Mark's photograph caught her eye. It was tucked between two books on the shelf, a moment frozen in time. Their relationship had been complex, full of passion, misunderstandings, and unspoken truths. She remembered the last conversation, the heated words that seemed to hang in the air like thick smoke. Something had changed within her. The anger that once burned so brightly had transformed into a quiet determination. She realized that forgiveness wasn't about forgetting but about understanding. The pain of the past didn't define her future. Her phone buzzed. A message from her sister. Short, simple, but loaded with hope. "Are you okay?" Those 3 words carried the weight of months of silence, of missed connections, of a family torn apart by misunderstandings. Sarah closed her eyes. The memories flooded back. The argument, the accusations, the moment everything fell apart. But now something felt different. She saw the situation with new eyes. The hurt that seemed insurmountable now appeared smaller, more manageable. She thought about her career, the dreams she had put on hold, the job she lost, the opportunities that slipped away. They weren't the end of her story. They were just a chapter, not the entire book. Her fingers touched the notebook where she had started writing again, small ideas taking shape, potential waiting to be unleashed. The decision to reconsider wasn't easy. It meant facing uncomfortable truths. It meant admitting that she might have been wrong. It meant understanding that people are complicated, that relationships are messy, that life rarely follows a straight line. Outside, the city began to change. The grey morning gave way to a softer light. Sunlight crept through the window, touching her hands, her notebook, the photograph of Mark. It felt like a sign, gentle, hopeful, promising. She thought about her parents. The distance between them had grown over years of miscommunication, but distance could be bridged. Understanding could be rebuilt. Love, she realized, was a choice made every day. Her work lay scattered around her, half-finished projects, dreams that were waiting to be completed. The job loss had felt like a punishment, but now she saw it as an opportunity, a chance to restart, to reimagine her path. The reconsideration wasn't just about others, it was about herself, her fears, her strengths, her potential. She had spent so long fighting against the world, against herself. Now she wanted to work with life, not against it. Her phone rang. It was her old colleague, offering a freelance opportunity. A small smile played on her lips. Connections were being rebuilt, slowly but surely. The universe, it seemed, was listening. The notebook beckoned. She picked up a pen, started writing. Not with anger, not with pain, but with hope. Each word was a step towards healing, towards understanding. The story wasn't over, in fact, it was just beginning. As the day progressed, Sarah made calls, to her sister, to her parents, even a tentative message to Mark. Not to rekindle what was lost, but to acknowledge the journey they had shared, to say that understanding was possible. The apartment, once a place of tension and silence, now felt different, lighter, hopeful. The reconsideration wasn't about erasing the past. It was about making peace with it, about choosing to move forward, one small step at a time. Her world was changing, not with a dramatic explosion, but with a quiet, persistent hope. Sarah understood now that life was about second chances, about seeing things differently, about believing that healing was always possible,